All right, and we are live. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time it is in the world. we are live ourselves, and it is 3:50 in the morning for me. So,
And it is not for me.
nope. So Missy's gonna be one that's driving this vehicle tonight.
Hey,
No,
what kind of bus am I riding?
I don't know. Hippie bus, hippie.
The Mystery Machine. I'll be driving the Mystery Machine.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know if you were seeing it, Missy, or not, but showing off the new 4K Alpha 1 Raid Boss video that they showed today in the developers update. But I haven't been able to watch it all myself, but I know some of the key factors is people can see kind of how gigantic so the dragons that they've been showing the artwork for practically, ones that are like, oh, that'd be really cool. Remember the blue one that we went
Yep.
after? Yeah, like he was in the creative director thing. Well, now those have been put into the game and they're pretty massive. And that blue one actually, and they'll show it on here. I caught the last part of it, but it changes the whole atmosphere around it to be like the lake freezes and it snows, and so like that world boss, which I think they're actually calling them sieges, but I almost feel like, I don't know, like world boss a day. Like, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I just wonder like why are they calling them sieges for? But I would just think they'd be called, you know, world bosses. Which I think that's another thing. I mean, we haven't covered those yet, but you have the monster coins too. So, oh hey, there you go. Damn, we caught you guys late.
Yeah.
The golden feather hasn't followed us. This is the first time.
Oh, for shame.
Well, look at that. Look at, we got slackers. Nah, I'm just messing.
Nah, it's okay. Better late to the party than not show up at all.
You were on really late, haha. Yep. Was the show on that late? Like we were recording videos on armor and weapons, so yeah, that's what we were doing. Like our break was when we came in there to sub you guys. It was in between videos. 1 hour or so. Well, you're usually 1 hour or so until you get us on there, and then it becomes 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Did we just start?
Oh, it went almost for 3. Well, see, there you go. That means I have. That means the next time you're either on our show or we're on your show. That means we got to go for 4. I can't be. I can't be. I can't
Power
be
Street.
beaten. No, we just got done recording like 6 videos, so we had like multiple parts for armor and weapons. So yeah, so don't worry about it. This is mainly just open mic night right now, and just kind of talking about the developer update and just kind of like what they talked about. I was kind of late to the party watching it. Make it up. Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll definitely have to make it up too when the next time we get back on there. Like I said, we got like 3 years, right, to talk about this stuff. So I'm pretty sure we could be on the Golden Feather like 2 or 3 more times. But yeah, like I said, guys, we were just wanting to kind of just go over everything that I said. I know next week they're going to be doing the content creator information finally. I know some people they're thinking that of course, I don't know what the difference technically would be as if you were a content creator getting access versus if you already have access. Which I think you guys actually did already have access. We sadly don't. Missy will have Alpha 2, but technically, yes, you could get Alpha 1 next week as well for $500. And the cosmetics will be bundled into that too. Um, I don't know if I personally, right now there's a lot of, I don't know if you guys notice this too, but there's a lot more videos going on right now that is pretty much trying to, in a good way, they're events info that they can share. Just having access doesn't always mean we can share what we see. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, but I think the NDA actually comes off or gets lifted, I think, along that as well. But I'm pretty sure, yes, there will still be things that we can always, share and all that stuff. But I know, yeah, so there's a lot of videos going on right now that people that's ever even talked about Ashes are starting to get in there, and they're big, bigger time YouTubers as well. Talking about the people that are overhyping the game, calling it, the next coming of, MMORPG Jesus, and and I have to agree with them, and these people aren't saying, and they're doing these videos not in a like negative way. They're doing them in a a good way of just people need
Well,
to.
people are worried, I think, too, because they're very excited and hyped for this game, but the longer it goes on, they feel like it's never coming out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically you're one of them, right? I've been bringing information to you that I've been learning, and you've been kind of like, backpedaling a little bit, you know. Everyone in the world will be playing it.
Billions of people.
Well, that's a thing too, right? Is well, I think like some stuff that's been coming up was I don't think a lot of people know that the fact that this game is a PvP game.
Their hedge funds.
They're going to get their hedge funds to play 24/7. You know what?
They're going to be selling their hedge funds in game.
Well, according to
It's
Missy,
take up your whole life.
right? Well, I mean, according to Missy, she was saying that hey, we got a Chibi Bee following finally. Woo!
Look, Asp! It's the Chibi!
I don't think I've actually talked with you guys in a while. I know Missy's been talking to you guys. Guess you guys didn't like me. Yeah. So supposedly, yeah, that a lot of people didn't know that this was actually going to be a PvP game. Like, and and I feel like the aspect
well, in PvP game, okay, they're touting it as PvP, but then when somebody says to Steven, well, it's a PvP based game, he's like, well, no, it's PvX.
people in BDO. See, okay, so now that we've introduced you guys to BDO, do you feel like the PvP system in BDO, even if you haven't used it yet, like myself, but you have the ability to enable PvP, right? And there is also open world PvP in combat zones. So do you think that Ashes, like I said, it's like 4 in the morning here. Do you feel like they should follow suit? Ashes should follow suit with BDO in that sense? Like, if you are just wanting to go and gather and or level up horses or whatever that little I got 3 hours. Yes, enabling PvP. So you can enable PvP in at all times with a click of the button, or yeah, so the no PvP enabled. So there are combat zones. Like I was on my ship and I was going through the ocean and I entered a combat zone, and then there was a lollipop pirate that came right by me with her big giant ship and destroyed me in like 3 hits. So it's, but in the general world there are like safe zones in them. And I it just also depends on how many. I want to use the correct term. You got killed by Jester? Uh,
Um, were you like when you're playing in BDO, if you're on one of the number 1 servers, like it has 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you're on number ones always have the node wars. So if you're just minding your own business doing stuff and a node war has started, yeah, anyone can kill you. Stay off the 1 servers.
yeah, Roj, thank you for the follow. But yes, actually, you're right. So even BDO does have PvP servers as well. That it's just constant PvP. So do you think that Ashes should? Do you think the game would not work without that aspect? I I don't think it. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. Critical Role uses the light pot for magic weapons. Probably was Chester, to be quite honest. That was a joke.
as it Harley Quinn.
I guess I've never seen that, but yeah. See, I mean, the safe zones. I almost feel like, in some sense, for Ashes, like yes, like if you're out in the wilderness and you've really gone far away from a city, you know, um, then I would say yes, like that area should be kind of like a safe area. But if you step outside like a certain amount, I guess the zone of influence, right? Well, I guess the zone of influence is actually pretty big. So like like a circumference of that area, if you go past it, then I could see you being always enabled in PvP. So it's like you're going out to the wilderness, and you're good to go. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I really don't. But I'm gonna bring up the nasty word people don't like talking about, but casuals. And I know some people say, well, if you only have 2 hours of gameplay, like if you only have 2 hours of game time to play, then you probably shouldn't be playing MMOs. But that's not the case. People play MMOs. Um, I mean, they're like, having 2 hours is enough time for them that they feel like is worth it and stuff like that. Because $15, I can pay $15 and play as much as I want that month, right? But if those people constantly are attacked, and yes, there is the anti-griefing system with corruption. I don't know. Like I said, it's gonna be really it's gonna be really weird, or not really weird, but it'll be something to see once the game is live.
I see. I had thoughts on that too. With the griefing. So one person hitting you over and over again, yes, will be griefing. But say a group of 8 people decides to go out, they're all buddies, and they're like, everyone hits you twice and takes your loot, and then they pool it together. They're not going to have that much corruption on any of them. So if they attack you in a group, 2 hit you, then another person hits you twice, then another person hits you twice. They're not going to have too much corruption, yet they're going to end up taking all your stuff.
Well, they'll only be able to take not fully crafted items, so like,
Yeah, but you're out gathering. They're gonna, all that work you've done gathering. You're going to take all the stuff you gathered.
Yeah, I mean it's well, I think a percentage of it, but yeah, I mean like I said, I think it'll depend on how that system works, right? Like I said, that's kind of the problem with Ashes right now. Like it's like the hype has put that the game is coming out tomorrow, but in all reality, the game's not coming out for at least another 3 years. I feel. Prove me wrong though, Steven. But like, and even today, I don't know. Well, I know Vertec, you guys were there watching, but how they were actually talking about, and I might have misheard it wrong, but I think we've always known that Alpha One Island is not the actual game, right? The Ashes of Creation game is something that if the stuff works in Alpha One Island, then they'll put it into the game. So that makes me wonder how much of the actual game then is actually done. Like I tried asking a question today Um, just because I feel like, we're seeing a lot of stuff, but we're still missing. Um, it has started. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Um, that we're still missing 5 archetypes from the game out of 8. So we've only seen 3. I think Ranger's coming soon, right? We saw that little image. Um, you know, and then we also haven't seen all the races either. So something I feel like that's basic, like they're basic, but they're very important, right? To an MMO. Your classes, well, shit, we haven't even seen the classes. You have the archetypes, and then the class system. You have 64 classes. Like, there's a lot of theory that's being thrown at us. There's a lot of this is how it's going to work, but they're not showing how it's going to work, how it works. Like the talent system, they're talking about augmentations and all this stuff. And like I said, that's why I feel like 3 years is a safe number, to be quite honest. Their visual team, though, is putting out amazing stuff, though. Like, I mean, these dragons, these bosses. It's weird because it looks so good, but it still has that, like, old school World of Warcraft, like, turning of the boss. Like, it looks like a box turning. So it's like... but it looks really good. So hopefully they'll be able to clean that up, like I said. This is still so... well, you have 8 archetypes, is what they're calling them, and 64 classes. So the combinations. Which, I know a lot of people was talking about balancing. I think even Zillan did a video. No, 8 is easy, and the thing is, that's what I was going to say, is 8 archetypes is easy, and technically the combinations, the 64 combinations, is what they've said was, like, when you combined I think a tank and a tank, what was that going to be, a paladin or something? Or no, tank and a cleric was a paladin. So technically, if you were a tank, that was your main archetype, you'd be balanced as a tank. And then you took on cleric to become a paladin. That wouldn't change your power. Like the balancing would be on the tank. I know I'm kind of being wordy here, but I'm trying to get this out. It's one of those things where they're going to be balancing 8 of them. The other ones are just going to be expanding or adding, like, cosmetic looking things. Yeah, defender. There you go. That sounds about right.
Tank is a guardian.
Oh, guardian. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Cleric, paladin.
Yeah, because that's what the game director described it as, is we're balancing 8 classes, so 8 main archetypes, and then the other ones that come in to make the special classes of the 64 classes, is they're not, like, really changing the archetype in a sense of, like, if you became a paladin, instead of your stomp creating, like, a fire wave, it would create a wave of light. Stuff like that. Does that make sense, Missy? Am I explaining that right?
It's I wasn't actually paying that much attention. I was trying to join the hunt, and it got a little long and drawn out there, and I kind of...
Yeah, so it's just trying to explain that the balancing comes from your archetypes. The others that you get of this to turn into the 64 different classes are just enhancements or augmentations, as they call them. So, instead of your shockwave being fire as a tank, it would turn into light as a paladin. So it's going to be cosmetic almost in the sense, or the spell might just work a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's going to generally be the same. It's just going to affect, like, the primary archetype skills in different ways. That's all.
We got Denny back. Looks like we got a Denny.
Denny! Oh, and thank you, Swaith, for the sub.
Yep. Still trying to figure out why our thing doesn't want to pop. We're supposed to have it pop up. Unless
We're trying to stream, Denny. It's really late for Brad by the time we finish our content on Fridays. But I'm keeping him up tonight. He said lots of Red Bulls.
Yeah, well, I have a 5-day weekend, so I don't mind pushing it. It's my last official month over here. So my last official, well, T minus like 27 days now until I'm out of here and back on East Coast. So, but I will be gone for probably about a month and a half. So Missy's going to be the one taking the reins. We are going to do a last big live stream though, for Final Fantasy 14 on May 14th though. It'll be like an 12-hour stream or whatever. So if you guys like Final Fantasy 14, yeah, we're going to be streaming some games. I'll probably get back into Final Fantasy 2, or I might just play some World of Warcraft Classic. So
You'd think Brad drinks, but he doesn't.
I don't. I'm drinking Pepsi, but yeah, and a little croissant just so like don't get all sick.
What is that can that you're drinking? Oh, okay. It looked like one of those little, those little mini cans that you buy.
Oh yeah, no, that's
like,
there's no regular. Yeah, this is all that like you have in Europe practically. It's just
like
small,
a Pepsi
skinny
shooter.
Yep, small, skinny cans. But yeah, so going back to the Ashes of Creation content creator thing next week. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their guidelines are going to be. No, Chris, I will Pepsi, drink it.
It's a real thing. Or is it Coke?
No, it's Pepsi.
I'll just screw up their logo.
A long time ago, there wasn't even any Pepsi in Europe, period. It was just Coke. But yeah, that was back in Italy, 2001, summer 2001. Yeah, the content creator thing, though, I feel like hopefully they're lenient in some cases. Replay. Okay. I hope they're lenient in some cases of letting smaller, like I said, we're, by no means big at all. I mean, like I said, we're trying to keep things going and whatnot, and testing the waters out in a few things. And we're going to be rearranging some stuff too. Missy's probably going to be the only face that you'll see for the most part. Project Ascension. I think you were talking. Yeah, I think Paul. I think you were telling me about Project Ascension when I was doing Classic. Which, like I said, I think I'm going to do a video on Classic. It's kind of like a research project for me right now. I've had a lot of back and forths and fights with it. It's like wrestling a bull. And the thing is, because we've been mentally. So the reason why I bring up Classic, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, wow," right? But this like strong community. You have to talk with people. You actually have like all these things that people want Ashes of Creation. And I was telling Missy about this. Technically, Blizzard's already given that to you with Classic now. Like, go play Classic if that's what you want, because I've gotten.
Thanks, Paul.
I've had to really work with people, group up with people to like just finish quests. I mean, basic little leveling up quests. Leveling is taking forever. And I'm a hunter. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Thanks, Maine.
Yeah. And Fritzia, thanks for the follow. And it's just like, and Classic's very simplistic, right?
Right, friend?
Release,
exactly.
Um, you know, but like the community aspect of it is just, um, you know, we like if you're looking for that kind of, you know, risk versus reward and all that stuff, then Classic's actually already there for you. But like I said, graphically, of course, it's a 16-year-old game now, 17-year-old game. Yeah, 2004. Yeah, so 17.
How do we get rid of that caps thing? I don't care that people use caps. Who cares? How do we get rid of that?
No, I've adjusted it. It's in a good spot.
There's nothing wrong with caps.
No, but I've already like adjusted. It was set really stupid low, and yeah, but I adjusted it. It's good. But I was gonna say, but yeah, but as far as our channel is concerned, though, yeah, Missy's probably gonna be definitely, well, at least for a month and a half, she's gonna be mainly doing like our videos for Ashes and stuff, even on YouTube. I'm gonna be kind of going into more of the role of marketing producer, really getting ourselves out there that way. So, because I feel like, yep, because there's a lot of little things that it's hard to keep up with, and I don't know if Vertec and Chuber are here, but I think I've heard it from a lot of people that part of it is actually pretty, you know, is actually pretty tough to keep up with. Like if you're trying to do content creation and that, you know, because you're like creating content, then to go and try to put out that content. So, why did I not buy him earlier? Yeah, you know.
Aw, Denny.
So
you might
Denny,
be able to get him at the cosmetic store.
Well, well, not that particular one. There might be a different one though. So.
Yeah, but you might be able to get a fox. Don't worry.
Well, the thing is, think about it this way. Well, the price tag that you're seeing, Chris, is, like we said before, is you're pre-purchasing like the game time. Like, I mean, the biggest pack, like Missy practically paid for a year of game time of having the game. And $125 worth of in-store credit. So cosmetics galore, you know. And once you buy your first package, I know you pretty much are able to buy any, like you don't have to buy a whole package. Like if you bought a previous package and then that fox came up, you could just buy that fox. No, and I can't justify myself either unless they come out with a really cool package. But technically, I'm about to start being really poor myself. So
I bought it only because it was my dream package, and it embodied everything, and I loved every piece of it, which was like made for me. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that and I was like, Missy,
you're like,
how much money do you have ready?
It's like, I don't know what. And I was like, damn it, Brad.
The moment you saw it, you were like whipping out the checkbook.
Take all my money.
But
I think in order to spend that kind of money, you would want to make sure. I did stretch. I stretched. Brad didn't stretch.
I didn't even see a stretch pop up. Well, actually, Streamlabs, when you do the multi-stream, because we have people on YouTube as well, you have to do the multi-stream to see both chats. So it doesn't show all the Streamlabs.
I stretch.
Just stretch. I did stretch. I've been stretching. By the way, Chris, you have 6 videos. Should be downloaded soon. Armor and weapons.
Yeah, Chibi. I mean, there was nothing I didn't love, and I mean, there wasn't like a couple things that went, I loved absolutely everything. It was like, oh man, really? So I had to buy the 375 set in order to get all the things, which I loved all the things.
All the things.
All the things. I need all the things. Oh, it'll come, Chibi. You got another 3 years, which is another 36 packages to go through.
Oh yeah, so Missy, you brought that up
Yeah.
today. So
What?
to talk about it. That video.
Talk about
Like the first
what?
comment that you saw in the video.
Oh, the Reddit one that I was saying?
The one that you were saying that literally all you're seeing, all they're showing practically is like cosmetics and money grabbing and scam.
Yeah,
And
the guy was saying, or gal, I'm not sure, but I think it was a guy, by the name, saying it was like, he goes, I'm so looking forward to this game and I so want to play it, but I have in my head this idea that it's just the biggest scam in the world. I was like, oof.
I think yours
It was
gonna
the
send to
October
resources.
2020 set, Chibi. If you look under the sets, the October 2020 is the one that I got. And I love it for my mage.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely don't think, and I've seen the videos that have tried to call Ashes of Creation like a scam and stuff like that, and I could see where, messaging and all that stuff, it could probably fall in that. I mean, the more and more we see, like, that's not, seeming like the way, but it's just, like I said, well, we don't know what is truly going on behind the scenes. Like, they're doing a ton of hiring. Today it almost sounded like they're, like, I mean, it's almost like, put it like, it's like they're needing a lot more people on their team. And the thing is MMOs, to be quite honest, and this is nothing that kind of got Missy backpedaling a little bit, is like, even when this launches, and MMO doesn't really hit its stride until after a couple expansions, to be quite honest. I mean, look at World of Warcraft. It really didn't hit its peak until Wrath of Lich King. So I mean, I think a lot of people's worries is this game becoming just a niche game. And I think even like the open world PvP aspect of it. Yeah, and that's a thing, is even coming out, I mean, quicker. I mean, look at studios that have hundreds of millions of dollars available to them to put out stuff. So we definitely don't want this game to come out too quickly, or we'll find ourselves with a game that looks pretty, but the systems and the gameplay itself will feel really crappy. So, like I said, I think I don't think anyone wants Ashes of Creation to not become fruition and succeed. I think it's just, what we've seen is mainly cosmetic. We haven't seen any systems. We're missing 5 of the 8 archetypes. We're missing quite a, also same of the races. Like, that was a question I asked today. The Ashes team on the stream was, any word on the other 5, classes. Like, why aren't these classes out? Like, so we could start testing them. I'm not on alpha, but this is, like, why aren't they out there? You know, the races, like, why haven't we seen like the character customization stuff yet? And hopefully maybe the NDA drops and that more of that stuff will come out, right? It's just I've seen copy and paste character models for them when they're doing these videos. If someone else has something to show me that proves that that's not what's like, then please do. There's a lot of prove me wrong. I want to be proved wrong. But
Okay, Chip, I'm going to send it to you in a message here.
And then lore too, like where's the lore? Like they should be working with like an author, if I could talk, an author, blah, 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 with like a book for lore, comic books, something, give us something to kind of build our hype for like the lore and stuff like that for the next. No stroke. It's just, what is it? Almost 5 in the morning. No. Just lore and, like comic books and pictures, artwork, new trailers. I think how old was the last trailer, Missy? I keep on, wasn't it like 4 years ago?
Yes, you you definitely know. That's funny.
No stroke here. Just tired tongue. Did 6 videos today. Some reading. Missy got tongue-tied, though, with the eagle set paragraph.
Where am I here? There I am. Okay. Whew. I was busy doing stuffs.
I definitely hope. I hope that like everyone can at least have a chance at flying mounts. I think that would be. And I know some of them just don't die. Well, that's the thing though, Chris, is there's actually one video that just is like about the hype, is, don't overhype this, because even if it is a great game, your hype has pushed it into God mode, and no one will ever get to God mode. And so it's just a matter of, will it be a good game? Like, they're working on it, Will it be the savior of MMOs? Probably not. You need to spend some of those points, Missy.
I just did. I did 1,000 in a heist. Wait. We got our monies. Oof. Somebody's been gambling and losing a lot. No! What? Not slots. They don't work right. You never win on slots anymore.
No, he needs the new gamble. Gamble, you could actually win.
Yeah, not slots. Oh, slots. Oh my god, I lost so many points on that. Aww.
Oh yeah, Chibi. So I was seeing your little emote there. I told Missy she needs to make her own. Missy needs to have some emotes.
I need a laughing one.
Yeah, these dragons look pretty cool though. I hope if like you beat them enough, like maybe they could drop like an egg or something, so you could actually have like a miniature version of them. Of course, it won't live forever because that's just how they work. So yeah, Paul. So like to that, like I said, with classic World of Warcraft, I mean, this is a 2004 game, and I've found myself, I mean, people run by you and buff you all the time, and they stop and actually admire, like, oh, it's a really cool pet, because it's unique. Like today, I saw
fire egg.
like someone riding this like black like Scarab Lord mount. And I think it was the Scarab Lord mount, the one that, so you had to be the one that opened up the actual gates of Encourage to get it. And it was just, and I mean, grouping up, there's no dungeon finder. So you actually have to talk with people, work with people. And even if I'm running a dungeon that I'm not getting any experience in, it still felt good to feelings on the types of quests you want.
What do you mean, Chibi?
Yeah. Like the types of quests we want in Ashes? One comes to my mind right now. Pray, return to the waking sands.
No. No.
I would say Chibi, coming from, like I said, I've been playing Classic a while now. Like I said, it takes forever to level up. Like if you want that experience right now, go play Classic. But anyways, there was like the quest that drops an item and it leads you on an adventure. And
oh, Paul, that's from Final Fantasy XIV, a phrase we heard about a bajillion times. Whee! That was loud. Oh, hey, Kyle.
We got a Kyle.
It's a Kyle. I got a Kyle.
So yeah, Chippy, I would say the quests that lead you on, like, like
Woo.
You're running around and, going all over the place, but it's, it's like leading to the investigation of an undercover spy, and, the ending quest is you actually, like, taking out the spy.
Oh my God, Kyle, thank you.
Take your love.
Oh, you have my love.
But no, definitely visually, yeah, Ashes will definitely be very beautiful. Like I said, I really hope that, if all they're showing is Alpha 1 Island, that the actual game itself, when they finally show that thing, like I hope it's just like the real team is like making the actual game while, maybe like the senior staff is working on Alpha 1, and then they're just taking the stuff that's working in Alpha 1 and putting it into the real game, creating all the assets. So pretty sure that's how it's working, but yeah.
I would like story-related quests, because I'm all about the lore and the story. I'm not really a big dungeon runner or a raider, so I really do enjoy a nice storyline quest, but then you get something at the end of it, like say you have a fight you have to do, or something that you have to do at the end of your quest in order to get an item. I also would like a pretty dress, but that's just me. But anything would do, a nice staff or something, but something you have to follow through with the story, and something that you have to work hard for at the end, like whether it be a boss battle or a maze or something you have to do that's challenging, and then for that you get a reward of some sort. Okay, thanks, Kyle. Bye. Are you leaving us already?
Yep.
He just gifts a million subs and runs.
So if you want some good, well, Chibi, let me ask you this: Have you ever tried?
Of course you do, Kyle.
Have you ever tried Classic World of Warcraft, or even the Burning Crusade, or Wrath? Because it was all still like the same even through that whole point. Did you ever play World of Warcraft in those times? Technically, you could play Classic right now, but
it's okay, Chibi. If it's the end is a dungeon, I will run a dungeon. It's okay. It's just not something I want to do over and over and over again all the time. But at the end of a quest or at the end of a storyline, if there's a dungeon, then I'd be happy to run it.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, there's actually, I mean, yeah, like the Defias Brotherhood and Westfall. You start questing all through Westfall, and you have a quest line that just you have to go and actually kill the leader of the Defias Brotherhood inside the dungeon, Deadmines. So yeah, no, that's definitely really cool, and that pushes you because you're like, oh, I want to like, this guy has like pissed me off throughout this whole quest line. I want to go kick his butt, and you know, it's just a matter of.
I mean, Final Fantasy, they do make you do dungeons, as part of your main story quest.
They end like a lot of stuff on dungeons.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that, as long as it's just not something that I want to do all the time, because, I know a lot of people, that's their raison d'etre for, gaming is raiding in dungeons, mostly raiding. For me, it's not. I'm more about doing like the crafting and storyline and the music and just immersing myself like I would in a book, but I'm living out the book.
So Missy, where would you?
Chris loves raiding.
No, Chris loves the drama of raiding. Right, Chris? All the drama. You know what's bad, guys? We haven't even talked with our editor, like actually in voice, for probably like a month now. We just give him work and he just does it, and like it's the same with like our web design. Like he works too much.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get him on for May 14th's Final Fantasy reaction. Well, hopefully Chris doesn't need a paramedic or a dispatcher for working too hard.
He'll need the dispatcher, then another paramedic.
Exactly.
Aw, Chibi.
When did you stop playing 14? Like I said, there's so many MMOs that can give you so many different 2 years. Oh man, that means you missed out on Shadowbringers.
Chibi.
And that is a crazy, crazy, crazy story game. Like,
Oh, you'd love Shadowbringers.
Oh yeah. It's probably their best, if not. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, Heaven's Sword was good, but I think Shadowbringers definitely was better. Which I'm gonna be getting my Hades and my Sin Eater shirts. They'll be there waiting for me at my hotel. And a large pepperoni lovers pan pizza from Pizza Hut, or Jersey Mike's sandwich. That's gonna be the day.
Oh yes. Or
no, Wendy's will be later on in the new year.
Yeah, okay, Brad. It'll probably be like 2 weeks in, and you'll have a Dave's double.
Right. Well,
who are you fooling?
Well, I will be going down to Disney World and Universal Studios, so about a week and a half later. So driving down, it's gonna be nice. Class changing by them. Well, don't run with the group. Like I said, that's kind of the thing. Kind of out it down and never
What?
picks back up.
She
Was
was
that?
kind of putting it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing, right? Well, you should actually ask Chris about being constantly changing classes specs, right, Chris? Uh, but anyways,
Staph infection.
stat. But yeah, Chibi, that's kind of like the one thing though is with any games, like with World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, like you could practically play the entire game without ever like really interacting or being a part of anything. You could pretty much beat the last boss and everything. That's like the solo play, right? So now you have the solo play aspect. So that's the thing is Ashes is going to be it. If the game is amazing and it hits all the cues, it's going to be a huge growing pain for a lot of people. And I say that from experience with playing Classic because I was level 8 and I'm just like, Lord help me. I got to level 10. I have almost quit like 2 or 3 times in Classic. But I fought through it, I pushed through it, and it's been good. Well, see, even the group content and Shadowbring, Missy, tell them about the Fate system. Or not Fate,
the trust system.
Trust system.
The trust system, you can run a dungeon with your heroes instead of with people. So there's always, it takes a little bit longer, but you don't need to run with anybody, and they don't change their classes because they're just bots. So that's a plus. But I mean, if you ever want to get back into the game, Chibi, we have a great FC. And you could play whatever you want, and if somebody's a healer, they'll relinquish healer to. They don't care. So if you ever want to get back into it, ever hit me up, because I got a server and a place for you to go, where none of that crap happens.
Right. Hey Brian, what's going on? And yes, I've heard you say that a couple times. You know. Solely a means to level up. I care less about how good the story is. Yeah, it's you know, I could agree, but there was some good quests in Ice Crown back in the day for Wrath of the Lich King. And hopefully if anyone's played Wrath of the Lich King back in the day, you can still play it right now and still do the quest, but somebody passed away and they actually put a quest in the game that reflected that person, and they were like a noble knight that was like dying in the game, and you had to go and reach out to like the shamans, the druids, Alex Straza herself, the Lifebinder, and then you finally went to the Naru, the beings of light, and like at the end, pretty much like the Naru take up the spirit. There's a really, really touching story. So like I said, definitely like generic leveling, whatever story's in there. I think if the story is passively given to you in a sense of like cutscenes and stuff like that, and you really don't need to read anything, yeah. But of course cutscenes, people want to skip cutscenes, but maybe that's just because they're not that good of cutscenes then.
Well, Vertek, Istola Bay, and Swaith, yeah. Well, she keeps rejecting me. My boyfriend, Thancred, is a tramp. So I have to share him with multiple other women. So, I mean, these things happen. We could either hang out or, he be with other women. I just have to accept him for his trampy ways. Dead cred. I'm sure he's got many, many offspring in Final Fantasy.
That's funny.
With a squirrel. Yeah. Is Denny still here? I haven't seen Denny in a while.
Yeah, I don't know about Denny. trying to see
Wonder
something
where
here.
you went. What you checking out? Is it time for me to do a dance routine?
See,
I'll do the
I
commercial.
should take a picture of this. Yeah, Denny's here. Denny's still here. But yeah, like it shows all these different users like watching the channel. Maybe it's because they haven't actually followed yet or whatever. But
Right, Paul?
yeah,
I know how to pick them.
chat identity. So many points we have. Ooh, 29,000.
You've got to spend some points.
There you go. Try to put a heist together.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, Brian. And I know they put somebody's headstone in World of Warcraft, was it, Brad?
I was to say, I think it was that quest. Like, well, there was some. They've been doing NPCs too. Like they'll put an NPC into the actual game with either their character's name, for example. So, no, like I said, I like those. I like those things. Like, being forced casual, I kind of get. Well, I enjoy the storyline like the first time, but then afterwards I'm like, okay, come on, move on. Like, let's move along. So
My heist didn't take. Why am I not in the heist?
I don't know. I think you can only go to 1,000. Even though I have set it to 10,000, it still only likes it. Doesn't like more than 1,000 for some reason. But no, and I think that actually did come up in Preach and Ian's interview. They asked him about Morrow Online 2 is the most in-depth crafting systems for a game I've seen or heard of. I wish AOC would make their systems good.
I think AOC probably, they are putting a lot of focus on gathering, processing, and crafting.
No, yeah.
And
So
the fact that you have to go to stalls and sell your wares, it's going to be, it seems almost like they're trying to make it very much like a real life job.
no, yeah, they're definitely doing that. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at Mortal Online 2. Yeah, I know they're definitely. So I'll put it this way: from what we've heard, or at least what they've told us in theory with crafting, is crafters are going to have a lot of control when it comes to crafting their items. Like you're going to be able to switch out stats. You're going to be able to put your whatever you want on there stat wise. You're going to be. You could even change the look of the gear that you're making in creative ways. Like I said, on paper they're describing a system that you could almost 3D print any type of gear that you want. It's like so I guess until we actually see how that's going to happen. I know this, that if your armor, let's say your sword is made out of, I don't know, adamantium, for example, to repair that sword, you're not going to repair that sword with gold. You're going to be repairing that sword with materials. So you would actually have to go to a crafter and actually have adamantium to actually repair your sword. So in that sense, gold is not going to be, like an actual resource in the fact that you're repairing your stuff. You're actually going to have the materials that made that sword, made that piece of that gear to repair it. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, lots of promises, lots of theories, lots of good stuff on paper. We'll just have to see what the next 3 years brings. Like I said, that number could be wrong. Like I said, I hope it comes out sooner. Like I said, we aren't getting younger. So
I
yet we aren't getting younger yet.
I'm getting younger.
You're getting younger?
Yeah.
Yep, age will just be a number soon, according to what I've been looking into and researching. Gene mechanics. It's pretty cool stuff. Hello Saga. Everyone that's on YouTube, press that subscribe button. It's free, I promise.
Yeah, we agree, Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely 3 years. And the thing is, even when it launches, I mean, this game's not going to really it's not going to really be it's not going to hit its stride for at least a couple years after that. MMOs normally don't really hit their stride for at least, like, what, 2 to 4 years? So, and people are going to come and they're going to go. How steady is the population going to stay? Are the casuals that are paying the bills, are the casuals staying and enjoying the game? Or is the game too rough? Do they need to change it? Do they need to adjust things? Like, there's so many factors into making an MMO really good. So, yeah. So we'll definitely see. For MMO, you have multiple choices for materials for everything from armor, weapons, alchemy, and that. There's sliders. Weapon strength to fit a character's abilities. Mortal Online 2. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Yeah, I think that now, as I recall, and I may be imagining this, but I believe there was a section we read with crafting, say for armor and things like that, that you can craft something specifically for someone. So they can give you like all the specs they want, or leave it up to you, or whatever, tell you what they're looking for, and you can actually in Ashes make things specifically for what somebody wants. So that tells me right there that they're looking at making it pretty in depth.
Oh, okay, Mortal Online 2, yeah. I saw Asmongold play this. Yeah, and I would definitely say that, yeah. Yeah. That one was pretty in depth. Like, your age defined, like, your stamina. And if you were fat, if you made your character fat, you had more HP. So, yeah. There's stuff on MMO1 that still is never found even after 11, 12 years of the game being around. With alchemy, it's crazy complicated.
Challenge!
Right?
I'm going to buy the game and I'm going to find it.
Exactly. Alright, guys. Well, I think unless Missy wants to continue this.
I got to go to bed.
But yeah, it is almost 5 in the morning for me. So, good thing I don't
early.
Good thing I don't got crap to do for the next 4 days, except to get to 40 at least on Classic. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Like I said, if you haven't pressed that follow button, please, follow us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Definitely, like I said, for me, I'd almost say. Pressing that, subscribe button, all that stuff is worth more than even donations, but that's just me for right now. Like I said, the more people we can hit up, the more people that we can talk to and interact with. So, probably going to be streaming some Classic tomorrow. Missy, I'm not for sure what your schedule is going to look like, but maybe some Final Fantasy or Stardew.
Birthday party.
Oh yeah, the one of two.
Well. One of 2 birthday parties.
Right.
2 separate weekends.
So Brian said ESO does a significantly better job of the video game than Asmon. Right. They're going for Star Wars Galaxy crafting as far as depth. Yeah. But anyways, guys, well, yeah, we will probably catch you tomorrow. So you guys have a good night, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I'm going to go bed. So you guys take it easy. And
Brad's gonna sleep on the keyboard.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go pass out for 8 hours and wake up afternoon. All right, guys, take it easy, and yeah, until next time, guys. Take
Thanks.
care. Stay
Thanks
healthy.
for joining.